Hello and welcome to Property Ladder, the series that shows you how to make serious cash from your bricks and mortar. I've been developing properties for the last 8 years, and in this series I'm going to be following the fortunes of new developers as they renovate properties for minimum cash in order to make maximum profit. Meet 32-year-old Cyan Astley. She's just bought this house in Manchester, which she plans to renovate and sell on, making a cool £20,000 profit. Cyan does have some experience of doing up places. She and her last boyfriend often moved house and renovated each property they lived in, making some money along the way. But Cyan's now on her own. This is the first time she'll be developing purely for profit, and she plans to sell the house as soon as it's done.
It's the first one that's actually all mine on all my money, riding on it. So it's going to be a bit of an experiment. You know, I've got a lot of confidence that it will go well and on budget and on schedule. So we'll see.
Cyan's chosen a 3-bedroom Victorian house in Chiltern, a suburb of Manchester. It's hardly been touched for over 30 years, and it wouldn't take Cyan much to spruce it up and cash in on a healthy profit.
It's quite exciting, living life on a wing and a prayer, but, you know, not quite knowing what's going to happen. So, yeah, I thrive on stress a little bit. Stress and gin.
Chiltern might not look that flash, but it is an up-and-coming area. There's a huge demand from buyers who cannot afford nearby Didsbury, and therefore prices here are rocketing. Cyan's Victorian semi needs basic modernisation, including central heating, rewiring and redecoration throughout. The layout of this traditional property is pretty much what you'd expect. Upstairs, there's a small box room and double bedroom at the front. At the back, there's another double bedroom and a good-sized bathroom. Downstairs, there are 2 reception rooms, one at the front and one to the rear. The kitchen is at the back of the house with an old-fashioned lean-to leading to the garden and a coal shed which is accessed from the outside. So how much did you actually buy the house for?
102,000. Yep.
And how much do you reckon all the work's going to cost?
It can't really cost more than 15,000 because that's what I've got.
That's all you've got?
Yeah, that's what I've got to do it. So
And do you have any contingencies if it runs over that?
it won't.
Okay.
I know, I've added a little bit. I've added some, you know, I've done the budget and really that should be more than adequate. 15,000 should be more than adequate.
And how much are you planning on selling it for?
Definitely 135. Probably between 135 and 140.
So that's about £20,000 profit.
20,000.
Great.
Which should be good.
What are you planning on doing with this 20 grand?
I'm going to buy another one and do it again.
Cyan bought the house for £102,000. Her development budget is £15,000. She wants to sell it in the region of £137,000, giving her a gross profit of £20,000. So what's the major things that need to be done?
Major, probably. Damp-proof course. Complete redecoration. New kitchen, new bathroom. It pretty much needs everything.
This is a lovely big room.
This is the rear living room. What I'd like to do is take that all out.
Right, and the other side of this?
The other side of that is
the kitchen. Cyan thinks the kitchen's too small. Her plan is to knock down the wall between the kitchen and the rear living room, making it one big space. Cyan's getting too carried away with ideas from glossy lifestyle magazines, and as a result, she wants to install a fashionable kitchen into this open plan area. I think she might be making a mistake. I'm not convinced that it's actually going to benefit the house, losing the fact that you've got 2 separate reception rooms and a kitchen.
Yeah.
And I think if you move the door into the middle here, you could have kitchen units down both sides to here. Yeah. And I feel you'd be better off knocking this outside shed down and all of this wall so that this was a long kitchen breakfast room. And there'd be enough room here for a table, and you could even have French doors at the end overlooking the garden.
Knock this down and build it further over, and take this wall out?
Take this wall out and this wall out. In a perfect world, you'd have a kitchen breakfast room in any property. To achieve this, all Cyan needs to do is to utilise the dead space in the lean-to. An added bonus would be to put French doors leading out to the garden. This layout will appeal to more people because, as well as having a large family kitchen, it retains both reception rooms, giving any buyer a more flexible living space. But will Cyan agree with me? At the end of the day, there's no doubt that 3 separate reception areas is better than 2 separate reception areas.
I disagree.
Do you?
I do. I do, sorry.
Who are you marketing it towards?
Young professionals, a couple, probably.
Yeah.
If I imagine myself in here, which is normally what I do, or what I do with the house, I imagine how I'd like it to be. And I can imagine myself cooking or chatting or whatever in the kitchen, and then there being people in the other room, and you've got that sort of interaction between the 2 spaces or interaction. I don't know.
I think you have to be very careful not to personalise it too much for yourself. Work hasn't even started, but it looks like Cyan is already in danger of getting too personal about her development.
So let's have a look at this shed that you want me to convert into a valuable living space. Right, yeah. No.
You're not convinced,
no.
Are you? I think that you're losing a reception space. You're walking through a utility room to the garden, and apart from anything else, it needs re-roofing anyway.
Re-roof? Really? Nah, beg to differ. If it comes up, my buyers want to re-roof it, I'll add an extra £2,000 to the price of the house and tell them I'll knock it off for the roof.
Well, OK, fair enough. Cyan's obviously very strong-willed, and I can see there could be trouble ahead. Fixing a dodgy roof is vital, as buyers will only pay the top price for a developed property when everything is in mint condition. But my immediate concern is knocking down that wall. Cyan's not thinking like a developer. By losing a room, she'll make it harder to get the top selling price, and local estate agents agree with me.
I really think that people will be looking for this as a traditional sort of house. I've nobody looking for something that's going to lose a reception room. It's such a big negative. I can really only see it going one way. That it would ultimately end up in less money.
I think with the 2 reception rooms, it'll appeal to a lot more people. And with the fact that it appeals to a lot more people, you will get a better price for it.
The fundamental problem with her plan to knock down the wall and lose a reception room is that Cyan is misjudging her market, a big no-no when developing. She's aiming her property at buyers like herself who prefer the open plan style of living. This means she's taking a huge risk with this development because Chorlton appeals more to families. The signs are everywhere. The area offers good affordable family housing, a variety of popular schools, and with its wide, quiet roads, it's very residential in feel. Deciding on your market is crucial when you're developing any property. Get it right and your property should sell immediately. Get it wrong and you could lose everything. First, thoroughly research your market. Find out what type of person is most likely to buy your property. Make sure you market the property to as many different types of people as possible. Renovate with your buyer in mind and always give them what they want. And remember, it's not about what you like, so stay neutral and don't get personal. Despite all the advice to the country, Cyan is sticking to her guns on the wall and invites a structural engineer to help her with the plans. Even he is against the idea.
Well, from my experience, a lot of people like separate rooms. So I don't necessarily agree that this wall should be removed.
Yeah.
And he's worried about the roof.
Sarah has had a look at the roof, sort of closer look, and thinks that it needs a new roof.
It does need a new...
the whole roof
cladding.
Yeah.
The slates are slipping,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah.
So it needs reslating.
Right. I don't think the building society will say, we're not going to allow you to get a mortgage on this unless you have a new roof. Property's 100 years old, and it would benefit from a new roof, I'm not going to put a new roof on it.
I'm concerned that Cyan is not prepared to pay for essential works on the roof, but is prepared to spend money knocking down a perfectly good wall. So how is Cyan going to spend her budget? She's allocated £6,600 for all building, plumbing and electrical work. £3,500 has been put aside for the kitchen and bathroom. £3,300 will go on decoration, including flooring and the garden. That leaves just £1,600 to cover all professional and mortgage costs and any contingencies. This brings her total budget to £15,000. It's tight, especially for someone like Cyan, who's getting personal.
It would be easier just to have 2 rooms and 1 kitchen, but it'd also be Dilla's dishwasher and I would get no fun out of doing it at all. So there you go. So a wall's coming down, whichever wall it is, something's coming down.
Well, nothing's going to stop Cyan from doing what she wants. The builders are on board and work starts immediately.
So does this need...
But Cyan's ordered building materials in advance and now discovers they're not needed.
We have a situation with this piece of steel in that they've just found out that the wall isn't load-bearing, so we don't actually need it. Thanks, John.
Result, they'll take it back and charge me £9.30 for carriage. Sorry, you've had to come all the way out. But you've gained a cat. Has anyone got a tenner? Don't carry cash, but like the Queen.
Cyan can be a bit impulsive, it appears. The change in plan means she could have workmen standing around with nothing to do.
3 people arriving tomorrow and about 10 minutes work for them. So thinking quickly, what they can do tomorrow is they can drop this wall, stick it in the skip, and then they can raise the level of this floor. So yeah, we're going to concrete this. 2.7 by 3.1.
Planning ahead and being organised is an important part of property developing, and I'm worried that Cyan is making it up as she goes along.
This is the wall that apparently everybody says don't take down, and it's coming down. Wow. Well, I think it looks fab. I'm really pleased with it. I think it's going to look absolutely fantastic, this room. I do.
But there's more to come. Cyan Astley bought this Victorian property, which she plans to develop, making a whopping profit of £20,000. Despite all the advice against it, Cyan's knocked through the kitchen wall. On an impulse, she also demolished the bathroom wall. It's 7 weeks into the project, and I feel that Cyan's strong personality may be clouding her judgment and threatening the success of this development.
Look at this.
Oh, hey.
You took it down.
I did.
Naughty girl.
Sorry.
God, this is an amazing big room, isn't it, now?
Like?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah?
So this is going to be a kitchen breakfast room in here, and that will be the sitting room next door.
Yeah.
You have lost a reception room, though,
I have.
but you're going with it now, and it's a lovely room.
I'm going with it. I'm not going to put it back after that.
Cyan does have strong ideas about what she thinks is right for this development. She is a glamorous independent woman who drives a sports car and runs her own damp-proofing business. She might work hard, but she plays hard too, and likes nothing better than drinking with friends in Manchester's trendiest bars. She also loves to dabble in interior design and is inspired by trendy open-plan loft apartments like this one. However, it's crucial she doesn't get too personal with this property, and she develops it for the family market. So, will she be able to hold back her personal taste when it comes to planning a kitchen?
You've been playing.
And we've been playing a lot.
This is how you want to live, isn't it? This is your dream kitchen.
It's a lot of people's dream kitchen.
But mainly yours.
But mainly,
Mine.
no. No, because
But it is your
I
dream
think
kitchen.
that, yeah, the thing is, every house, if you're going to sell a house, it's got to have a feature, hasn't it? Something that, a wow factor. Exactly. Great minds
Absolutely.
think alike.
I mean, how do you see people actually using it?
I'll be. So, God, I can imagine myself in this kitchen. I'll be in this this kitchen, I'll be. If I lived here, I would be cooking. And then you've got kind of people over there so you can interact with people all the time because there's no wall. So people can be wandering in and out there, glass of wine, nibbles. Perfect, Nigel Lawson. Eat your heart out.
However tempting, you should never indulge your tastes in a development. In Cyanne's original budget, she allocated $2,500 for the kitchen, but has instead doubled the cost by spending $5,000 on a bespoke kitchen tailor-made to her own specifications. This is an unnecessary expense, as many well-known DIY chains offer contemporary-style kitchens that would be right for this development for half the price. A designer kitchen might be more stylish, but it doesn't say practical family kitchen, which is what Cyanne's target market will want.
It's trying to suggest a lifestyle to people, really, isn't it? You know, it's going to be an expensive house, and a lot of people who have this amount of money, you know, they may well be more of a sort of married couple with 3 kids and that sort of thing, rather than living the way we do.
No, I think the thing is, in this area in Chorlton, on these streets, there's a certain type of people who are always looking, and they're young professionals, late 20s, 30s. I don't think that this idea, this style that I'm doing in this house is going to put off the kind of buyer that I will get. It will attract the buyer. I know the type of person that's going to buy this house, and this is what they're like, definitely.
Fantastic. Well, confidence is what we have.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Whether Cyanne's right about the kitchen remains to be seen, but I do have serious reservations about what's happening to the bathroom.
Oh my goodness, look.
Cyanne's reasoning for knocking down the bathroom wall was that the room was too small. In fact, it was adequate for the size of the house. To make it bigger, Cyanne took down a wall and is about to extend out into the rear bedroom. At an extra cost, she also wants to install a shower and move the bathroom fittings.
It just wasn't big enough. The bathroom wasn't big enough, I think, for a family bathroom or as a bathroom for a house this size.
What you could do, now that you have eaten into this bedroom, which I agree does leave it still a reasonably sized double bedroom, is actually not to have taken this wall down and made this an ensuite shower room to this bedroom, and then have the bathroom here, because there's no doubt that a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house is going to be worth more than a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, even if it's got a big bathroom.
Would you put a shower and a loo in there? Could have done really.
Yes, because you could put a loo there,
Yeah,
shower there, and a little basin on this wall. So it would be a small shower room, but it would be an ensuite. And then you could have the family bathroom, which...
Stop talking now, because I haven't done it.
Okay.
Brilliant. It was, yeah. Why didn't you mention this last time?
Oh, you didn't say you're taking the wall down. I didn't know you were taking the wall down.
No, do you know, it would have been a good idea, would have been a little bit more expensive, but...
It wouldn't be, you could still do it.
Could do.
Because it would only mean taking out these...
Moving the studs back and doing
studs, because you haven't plastered it.
The thinking behind Cyanne taking down these walls is actually sound. She's simply trying to create a feeling of space. It might be tempting to just rip out a wall or two, but it doesn't have to be that drastic. A better way for Cyanne to encourage the feeling of light and space between the two areas could have been to retain separate rooms but remove parts of the wall. Another option is to create a clear line of vision from the front to the back of the house. This draws the eye through the property, creating a very effective feeling of openness and space. Something buyers love. If Cyanne had kept the kitchen wall and simply moved the door across, she would have created the same impression of space. This trick of lining up doorways is relatively cheap to do and is a great selling point for any potential buyer. Most buyers prefer a bright, spacious property. Use your imagination and think about creating windows of light in any existing dividing wall. Or move a doorway to draw the eye through a property, giving a feeling of space. But always get professional advice for any building work. Back at the house, Cyanne seems to be taking my advice at last.
Decided to put an ensuite in here, so loo on this wall and shower. In fact, the shower's staying where it was because we were going to put a shower there anyway, so really the only extra is that the bath's gone back where it was.
Roughly where it was.
Roughly where it was in the first place.
Cyan has wasted time and money knocking the bathroom wall out. She's now spending more money rebuilding it so she can create an ensuite bathroom for the rear bedroom. This is a good investment. Ensuites are very appealing to today's buyers and will add value to most properties. But with Cyan's budget taking the strain of all her extras, I think she must be setting her sights very high.
So it would seem to me what you're actually trying to do with this house is break through the ceiling price for other houses like this in the street. Would that be right?
Yep, definitely.
So you're not denying that?
No.
So how do you intend to achieve that?
By making it the most desirable residence on the street.
My only concern at the moment is that you've re-roofed the back here, which is great.
Yep.
And I'm still worried about you not re-roofing the main house because I think that whoever buys this house is buying this house because they can just arrive with their sofa, put it in, sit down, pour a glass of wine, and they don't have to do anything. And I'm worried that whoever buys this house is going to come up in the survey that the roof in the near future needs re-roofing.
What happened? I mean,
So
it'll come up. If it comes up as a problem, it'll come up well in advance of exchange, and we'll address it then. And if it comes up, then it comes up.
And so you're not too concerned if it does come up that it'll make a sale fall through?
No, absolutely not. The sale of this house won't fall through because the roof needs doing. Absolutely adamant.
The ceiling price is the highest price any buyer has paid for a property in any road. To achieve this, your development must be finished to the best possible standard. If Cyan cuts corners with the roof, there's no way she'll break through the ceiling price, and she'll never recoup the extra money she's spending.
Sarah seems to be extremely concerned about the roof, to the point that she's actually concerned that it would jeopardise the sale of this property, and I completely disagree.
As a developer, Cyan's priorities are misplaced. She won't spend money on the roof, but when it comes to the kitchen, she's doubled her budget by splashing out on extra design features.
How much would it be for one of those, or...?
For the piece of glass, we're looking at about sort of £120, somewhere around
So
there.
it's just, I mean, really, in the whole scheme of things, the whole house, it's nothing, is it?
That sounds good.
This is just what I'm looking for.
Okay.
But it doesn't end with a cutting-edge kitchen. So far, Cyan spent more than she budgeted for on removing the bathroom wall and then rebuilding it, adding an ensuite bathroom, and putting in bespoke French doors to the garden. When developing, you have to keep the books balanced. The idea is, if you spend more in one area, you must save it somewhere else. Cyan got a good deal on plastering, which has saved her money on decorating costs, as skimmed walls can be painted without the need for lining paper. But after such a marathon spending spree, I can't imagine how Cyan can complete this job for £15,000.
So tell me, how's your budget going? Are you on budget at the moment?
Yes, budget's on target.
So you were going to spend 15,000, right?
It's not on that target.
Oh, this is on a new target.
It's just a different target. Time is very precious, so I've decided that because the property's risen by quite a lot, I've got a little bit more leeway in terms of spending a little bit more to make my life easier. So my target's slightly moved.
So what's your budget now?
Probably going to be around about 19,000.
Because one of the things about the property prices rising is that all of that profit you would have made regardless of whether you've done anything to the house or not.
Yeah.
So actually your profit should remain the same and you should spend the same. However much it's risen in value, you're going to have to spend that much more on the next property. So your only real profit is the profit that you originally planned on making.
The classic mistake new developers make is to overspend because their profit has increased due to a rising market. I'm worried that Cyan is falling into this trap. But is she about to risk everything by getting more personal and allowing her design aspirations to get in the way? 3 months have passed since Cyan Astley started developing this Victorian house. Against my advice, she's decided to aim this property at a young, trendy, professional buyer and give it a really contemporary feel. One of the key selling points for any new development is the bathroom, and getting this right for your market is crucial.
You're putting in...
Corner bath. Well, the thing is, this room is so tiny, isn't it, that if the bath goes on there where it was before, there's just no room. Just really minuscule. So, much better, more contemporary, fits with the rest of the house. There's a corner bath, and then I've got a really nice sink, stainless steel sink to go there, so there's enough room. And then the leaves going back.
Are you sure it's sort of contemporary, a corner bath?
It's staying.
I'm not.
You hadn't even thought about it. You hadn't even
No,
thought
actually,
it. Just admit it.
I really hate corner baths.
Do you? It's a good job you're not going to be sitting in it.
Cyan's original plan was to make the main bathroom bigger by extending it into the rear bedroom. But following my advice, she reinstated the wall she knocked down to create an ensuite shower room for the bedroom. In the main bathroom, she's now decided to replace all the fittings to give it what she considers to be a more contemporary look. In the bedroom, she's taken the unusual step of ripping out the original fireplace and boxing in the alcove.
This looks good, doesn't it?
There's done absolutely loads.
So you've got the shower room there.
Shower on that side, and then toilet in there.
Why did you build this up?
The only place really for the bed was on here, and unfortunately this kind of didn't leave enough room for the bed, so I had to take this off and plaster over the hole.
Right.
Then I had to build this so the bed could run along because there wasn't enough space, and everything would have just fallen down the back of the bed.
Is it a lot of this sort of planned, or does it kind of evolve?
It's very organic.
It's good. Yeah, that's good. More expensive, but
no,
interesting. Keeps you on your toes.
Not necessarily more expensive.
Have you got the fireplace in the front bedroom still? Because people do like original features.
If they've never seen it, they won't know it was there, so it won't make a blind's bit of difference.
And what's this?
They're new, and they've got this liquid stuff in, and I think that's really funky. Do you like that? You don't like that, do you?
I think it's really fun. It would look really cool in a kind of children's bedroom or nursery.
A children's bedroom?
Yeah.
I'm going to have these in my flat. I am. I think I'm a bit more cutting edge than you.
Do you think cutting edge?
I think cutting edge.
The key to contemporary style is to keep things simple to achieve an expensive, sophisticated look. It's not about being too funky or wacky. When developing a period property, bear in mind that most buyers will expect some original features, but many will also want modern, simple lines. So a blend of the two is the ideal. Going with a contemporary kitchen is one way to introduce a modern feature into a period property. Alternatively, you can install reproductions of traditional fittings like this classic roll-top bath. The trick is to retain as many of the original features as possible, such as sash windows, cornicing, ceiling roses, picture rails, and fireplaces. This is what buyers expect in a period home, and professional developers go to great lengths to reinstate these key features. A blend of the contemporary and traditional will always appeal to a broader market when developing a period house. Always keep as many original features as possible, as most buyers love them. Introduce simple, modern styling with kitchens and bathrooms. Cyan's expensive bespoke kitchen has finally arrived and is being installed by specialist fitters.
So the most extravagant thing has been the kitchen, but that's been for my own sanity. You know, it's just been a lot easier to have someone else take it out of my hands and do it. I know that it's going to look fantastic, so I've not had to worry about the kitchen.
It's all too easy to forget that developing is essentially about making money. Spending more on glass breakfast bars and the like might appeal to your taste, but it's decisions like this that eat into your budget and can seriously affect your profit. When developing, it's crucial to choose the right kitchen. Another key thing to get right is the bathroom.
Very nice. Lovely shot.
Quite like that for the back of in the bathroom upstairs. To go around the corner bath, which you really, really like, to detract away from the corner bath. We can have the glass tight. Yeah. So they're kind of, go up on the back. But they're really gorgeous, aren't they? That way, I suppose.
They are cool, actually.
there'll be the thing that when you walk into the bathroom, obviously, and it's a really cheap. It's a very inexpensive bathroom.
So it's a cheap corner bath.
Yeah, it's an inexpensive corner bath, but it is brought alive by the most amazing fired earth glass tiles.
Expensive tiles are great if you have an unlimited budget, but in Cyanne's case, they're yet another extravagance. However, Cyanne's hoping to save money by looking for inspiration to design and create her own bathroom basin unit.
These are really nice. This is the ultimate thing. This is so cool, don't you think?
The ultimate. It is a
Fantastic.
blend between contemporary and traditional.
And how much is that? That's £1,595 for that thing. But
It's a lot of money to wash your hands, isn't it?
it is. But it looks great, and I think that a half-hearted version of the same thing would be a mistake.
Do you? Shall I tell you what I'm doing with the sinks?
Go on, tell me.
I've bought from Habitat, and they're quite expensive, but what I've done is just bought the stainless steel sinks, and I'm going to have my joiners build a plinth and stain it in the dark wood, the same as the kitchen and the floorboards, and use contemporary style taps, but ones that are a lot less expensive. So...
Well, I shall wait to see what it looks like.
Yeah, but you know when you're saying that, God.
Cyanne's ideas seem to have escalated above and beyond what is necessary for this development. It is, after all, a simple Victorian terrace, and what's required to sell this type of property is a classic neutral bathroom suite, not unlike the one she ripped out.
I have to think that's a really cool bathroom. I'm not convinced about the colour, but this is more along the lines of a blend between contemporary and traditional. It would fit into the sort of house that you're doing.
I think it looks like a toilet. I think it looks like the sort of toilet you have to go in a city down the stairs to and find a tramp.
But this is modern, contemporary.
That's not a modern contemporary. I don't think that's modern contemporary.
I think you're doing your house in the style that you would want to have it, not in the style that your buyer is likely to want to have it.
Because if I had that house, it would be a lot more contemporary than it is. It would have those tiles which have all these squidgy bits of colour in, and it would be a lot more contemporary.
It's 3 weeks on, and Cyanne's wash basin creation is being fitted. Downstairs, the fireplaces have undergone a strange transformation and have had MDF boxes built around them. The question is, why?
I'm not going to pay for a working fireplace. If somebody wanted to come in and put a fireplace in there, then they could do.
But MDF isn't fireproof, is it?
No, if they wanted to put a fire in, they'd have to take that out and then, fit the fire.
Because the only thing is that I think a lot of people in a Victorian house would want to have the ability to be able to use an open fire. And having a wooden box in the fire means that they definitely can't, because it would catch fire, obviously.
It was a fairly inexpensive option for me, which will look quite nice and blend in with the rest of the property. So that's what I've done. And
no one's going to walk into this house and say, I would have bought this house if you hadn't done that. What they'll do is they'll just buy another house, and that's it. They'll just go and buy somebody else's house.
Do you think for the fire?
From the research that I've done on who buys houses, I think it's extremely likely they're going to want to be able to have a fire, and they can't have a fire if it's filled with wood, because wood burns, so they won't be able to do it without taking it out. So.
I disagree.
Okay, I will
agree to disagree.
Let's go upstairs.
I hope Cyanne's managed to restrain her design ideas in the bathroom.
I think it looks quite good.
Yeah. It's very high. Is it not unusually high?
I did say that actually to the guys. What I might do is get them to lower it a little bit. But yeah, they've just made it out of a piece of office furniture from B&Q.
Do you think that's a bit small for a 3-bedroom house?
Is it?
It looks really cool. But I think that as a family bathroom for a 3-bedroom house,
It's a bit small.
It's quite small.
Oh, it's in now.
It is in now.
Tiles,
yes. What are you doing for tiles? Wow.
It's like, they look wicked. I know they're a bit different, aren't they? They're not going to appeal to everybody's taste. And you're going to tell me you're very worried about these tiles.
I'm not very worried.
But
I wouldn't be worried if it was my development.
But why?
Because
God, you just want boring white. Wow.
No, I don't think it. I know I don't want boring white. I think it's just classic and simple.
Property developing's about what sells. A classic, simple look will always appeal to the broadest market. Cyan's got it right by painting the house an inoffensive shade of white and by opting for simple white mosaic tiles for the ensuite. She's even decided not to shell out on expensive glass tiles in the master bathroom.
I've got a raging hangover and I can't make any decisions at the moment. And the tiles are here and these tiles are here, so it seems like a good combination. So these are just gonna go here.
Cyan's made the right decision continuing this classic simple style and saving money in the process. But then Cyan's designer aspirations get the better of her again. She's about to spend even more money on yet more wood for the fireplaces.
For someone who's buying a house, they'd rather have a beautiful piece of timber like that rather than me just getting a piece of veneer or, just something that's going to stay there and be boring.
Well, you won't have anybody else who's got the same thing.
Well, exactly. So it's worth it. So if they complain, then they shouldn't have bought the bloody house.
Cyan Astley is entering the final phase of a 5-month development. A new cutting-edge kitchen is just one of the things that have pushed her budget up from £15,000 to £19,000 and counting. Throughout the project, Cyan's made the classic mistake of being too personal, from her changes to the layout to her interior design ideas.
I think that the house is going to look absolutely fantastic, and if Sarah doesn't like it, then she clearly has no taste at all.
To Cyan's credit, one final push should be enough to bring this development in on time. Cyan's team all turn out in a bid to get the house finished and on the market for the summer.
I've been a bit frazzled, because it seemed that a lot of people were here, but not an awful lot was happening. But now, a few hours later, things seem to be coming together, so I'm a bit less stressed.
I've obviously failed to influence Cyan on the bathroom floor tiles or the fireplaces, where she spent more money completing the look with chips of recycled beer bottles. It's taken Cyan 5 months to develop this property in line with her own personal taste. She has achieved the contemporary feel with what was a fussy, dated house. The whole place has been stripped back to reveal clean lines. Neutral colours have been used throughout, which will appeal to most buyers. Upstairs, the front bedroom with its garish colour and pattern is now simply a blank canvas enhanced by modern lighting. Next door, what was once just a bedroom in dire need of decoration is now a modern, appealing space. But the key feature is the ensuite shower room. Cyan was right to go with my idea. She's giving the buyers what they want and expect in today's market, and by doing it in a simple, classic way, it really works. But it's in the master bathroom I think things start to go wrong. The combination of a dated corner bath, a small contemporary sink, and the highly individual floor tiles does not make for a practical family bathroom. In fact, it could put off the market most likely to want this house. Downstairs, the overwhelmingly pink and flowery reception room has been neutralised. But I'm not convinced about Cyan's design statement with the fireplace. The stained wood and turquoise recycled glass feature is a bold personal statement and an unnecessary expense. Where once there were 2 rooms, now there's just 1. Cyan is limiting her market with this open-plan kitchen diner, but it does look impressive. The kitchen is good quality, but let's not forget Cyan did spend twice her original budget on it. By introducing quirky design features like the glass breakfast bar and another fireplace with glass chippings, Cyan is alienating the family market yet again. But the French doors leading to the garden will impress most buyers and mean you don't have to go through the utility area to get outside. But Cyan never did do that roof, and only time will tell if she'll get away with it.
Are you pleased with it?
Absolutely delighted with it, yeah. Absolutely delighted. Really, really like it.
And so on your next project, would you do it very similarly if it was a similar sort of house?
I think I've planned things maybe a little bit better, rather than a wing and a prayer, which is what I normally do.
My feeling is that I'm not convinced that it's consistent. It's confusing for who it's appealing to.
Okay.
I think that there's elements that perhaps are more about your personal taste than actually about keeping a plain and contemporary feel to the house.
I thought my taste was quite contemporary. What is it?
I think it is. It's very particular. I mean, the fireplaces,
yeah.
the chips of glass.
Yeah. It's all a learning curve, isn't it? So.
Absolutely. And the house does look great. You know, the overall effect of the house is really superb.
Cyan has followed her own path with this project, and her £15,000 budget has steadily risen throughout. She originally planned to spend £6,600 on all building works, including plumbing and electrics. But this went up to £7,900. She had planned to spend £3,500 on the kitchen and bathroom, but this leapt up to £5,900. Decoration, including flooring in the garden, came in at £3,900. And her original estimate of £1,600 for professional fees and mortgage costs came in at a whopping £5,000, more than 3 times the original estimate. Another £1,300 was spent on finishing touches, including the wood for the fireplaces. The total now stands at £24,000. But any increase in your budget does mean less profit. Cyan originally bought this house for £102,000. She planned to spend £15,000 renovating it and sell it in the region of £137,000. This would have given her a profit of £20,000. But when the budget went up to £24,000, Cyan's real profit came down to £11,000.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Neil. How are you doing?
Everything now rests on the estate agent's valuations and securing a buyer.
Done a super job. It's got a real contemporary feel to it.
Where's that wall gone?
Where's that wall? Have you done an ensuite? Yes, ensuite
that's
now.
fabulous.
Bathroom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tiling? Was that your decision?
5 months ago, Cyan was hoping to sell the house for a maximum price of £140,000. But the massive rise in the market has changed all that.
What do you think?
Everything will sell at the moment because the market is terribly buoyant and there's a shortage of properties. You are limiting your buyers, without a doubt. I think the house is worth 170.
I would have thought that you could be looking at 175,000.
Yeah.
Possibly even top it up to 180.
To be honest with you, I think we're looking up as high as 180,000.
That's quite a lot more than I originally thought.
I don't think we'll be taking any offers at all.
Well, excellent.
Let's put a little smile back on your face.
I think the devil in me wanted to hate it, to be honest, but no, I do like it. With a refurbished property, people are going to start asking questions. She hasn't done this to the roof when it's obvious. What else hasn't she done? That is my only concern, and it is a concern.
The rise in the market is impressive. If Cyan does manage to sell her property for the top asking price of £180,000, she stands to make a whopping £51,000 gross profit. But remember, if she wants to continue developing, every other property in the area would have risen by the same amount.
So you've made £40,000 in a rising market, which is fantastic, and £11,000 profit from developing the house. Do you feel that £11,000 is it was worth doing the house for £11,000?
It doesn't sound a lot, does it? £11,000 when you compare it to potential profit of £50,000, but in actual fact, £11,000 is quite a lot of money if you do this kind of thing in your spare time.
Did they say anything about the roof, the estate agents?
No. Granted, the roof needs attention, so I'll sell it before winter.
Would you agree that there was an element of risk involved because you were limiting your market? Fortunately, everyone loves it, and I'm sure you'll sell it very quickly, but it does limit the market, doesn't it?
Yes, it limits the market, but the type of market that I've aimed the house at, they're going to appreciate, hopefully, touch wood, they're going to appreciate what I've done. But we'll have to wait and see till they come in. That'll be a bit scary, but...
Well, good luck with it.
Thank you.
And onward and upward.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Nothing counts in property developing until you have secured that all-important buyer. The next day, Cyan invited potential buyers to take a look.
It's just come on the market today, 179,950.
Are you serious?
What do you think of the fireplace?
It's not quite to my taste. But I do like the wood.
Very modern
Sense of
idea
space.
on the fireplace. Nice,
Yeah.
I like it, yeah.
And this is where it gets a little bit different.
Oh, right, this is good.
They've made it all
Yes.
plan.
I mean, okay, it's a lovely kitchen, but, you know, it's not even that nice.
Want to have a look upstairs?
Okay, it's
Anything you need?
all very, very tidy, isn't it?
This is quite nauseous. I mean, what sort of a bath is that? It's just like a large basin.
It's tiny, but it's got everything you need,
Handy.
I suppose, yeah.
Very handy.
It's very tidy, it's very nicely done. The floors are lovely and the kitchen's it's a really good selling point.
Do you want me to be honest? I don't want it.
Do you know?
I don't want to mess you about.
I thought the house was lovely. It's been done up really nicely. It's got a nice feel about it. Having had a look at the roof from further down the road, I have noticed a few tiles are out of place and so on, so I don't think the roof has been touched, to be honest. And it's a shame that the outside of the house doesn't sort of match the standard of the inside.
No development is a success until you've got your cash in the bank. This lady wanted to buy the house, but the offer she put in was £10,000 under the asking price at £170,000. Cyan didn't accept this and for the last month has been living in the house herself. Cyan has taken an enormous risk by getting personal and creating a home she would like to live in. But more importantly, she hasn't followed the golden rules of property development. Develop to a broad market, get your cash out quick, and get on with the next one. If you don't follow these basic rules, the risks could just be too high. Next week, I'm in Maidstone, Kent, to meet two ladies who have bought a rundown property at auction and without a survey. They think that a lick of paint and some pretty curtains is enough to make them a huge profit. I just hope they're not in for a nasty surprise.